Today in the battle arena with Zack Snyder's Justice League out on HBO Max, we got two of the most powerful villains in the DCEU going head to head. Doomsday is going up against Steppenwolf. So to come out on top here, let's find out. Now before we get into the breakdown, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, the subscribe button, and turn on notifications for more great videos like this one every single day. All done? You subscribed yet? Okay, great. Now we can get into it. I want to start out with taking a closer look at Doomsday. So Doomsday was a mutated human Kryptonian hybrid who was created by Lex Luthor from the corpse of General Zod and a bit of his own blood. It was created for the sole purpose of killing Superman. Capable of straight up apocalyptic levels of destruction, Doomsday's strength required Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman to team up in order to take him down. Although, let's be real here, it was really just Superman and Wonder Woman. Batman did not do much in that fight. He was ultimately killed by Superman at the end of their fight, but managed to also kill Superman in the process. And the first thing you gotta know about him is that he's strong. Super strong. Super strong. I mean, just for starters, Superman needed two hands just to catch one of Doomsday's punches. And then from there, Doomsday was consistently able to toss and throw around Clark. Absolutely just send Superman flying. Seriously, cannot stress this enough. He overpowered Cal throughout that entire fight. Did stuff like this throughout the entire fight. He actually even ended up killing Superman at the end, despite the fact that Clark had just stabbed him straight through with a kryptonite spear literally right before that happened. Then, as if all that wasn't impressive enough, he also battled against Wonder Woman, managed to do the exact same thing to her. Just easily overpower Diana, toss her around, and send Wonder Woman absolutely flying with his attacks. So yeah, Doomsday's crazy strong. On top of that, Doomsday is super tough. I mean, he was able to take punches and attacks from both Superman and Wonder Woman. Quickly recovered, acted like nothing had happened. He survived large explosions. Oh yeah, even survived a nuclear bomb. A freaking nuclear bomb! I mean, just look at that. Doomsday fell back down to Earth and was just right back at it. Just wrecking Gotham, tearing stuff up. And after Superman stabbed him all the way through with that kryptonite spear, he was able to live on and kill Superman before dying himself. But the real trick here is that Doomsday's got a healing factor. I mean, when Wonder Woman cut off his hand with her sword, just hacked it right off, well, Doomsday just regrew that hand. No harm, no foul. We've never seen Steppenwolf do that. And all of this isn't even mentioning Doomsday's, well, basically just his energy powers. He's able to send out these energy pulses that level everything around him. They can be seen from outer space. Even push back against Superman and Wonder Woman. He's got heat vision that blasted back Diana a couple times. Even blasted back Superman, overpowering his own heat vision in the process. Doomsday can even freaking fly. He can fly. But then there's Steppenwolf. And honestly, talk about a comeback story. He went from being one of the DCEU's worst villains, as boring and bland as the movie he was in, to a guy who's actually kind of sympathetic. He actually kind of feel bad for. because he's just trying to make his way home to atone for his mistake, and he'll do absolutely anything to make that happen. It's a lot better than the generic bad guy saying generic bad guy lines or whatever that was over in Justice League. Most improved player for sure. And now, see, the thing is, he doesn't just look like so much more of a threat, he actually is so much more of a threat. He was able to plow through Amazonians, just absolutely plow through them. Walked right through Atlanteans, too. And everything is so much more brutal with an R rating. He knocked around both Wonder Woman and Aquaman, actually took both of their combined strength just to begin to overpower him, and actually beat Aquaman while they were fighting under the water. In fact, he actually took Fish Boy out with just 2 hits. I'm sorry, Fish Boy was a bit disrespectful there. Please don't hurt me, Jason Momoa. He was able to fight against Aquaman, Wonder Man, and Cyborg all at the same time. Because Snyder Cut actually gave Cyborg something to do, but then he met his biggest match yet. That window on Batman's Nightcrawler. No, I'm just kidding. Although it is kinda weird that he wasn't able to break it. Of course, I'm talking about Superman. And Superman was just able to completely dominate the guy. Just make him look silly. Even slice part of his big ol' fancy head. Of course, that also leads us into the next little bit. Because Steppenwolf could take quite a beating. Until the point where he couldn't. But outside of that, well, he took attacks from Wonder Woman, attacks from Aquaman, even some attacks from Cyborg. So he would brush it all off like it was nothing. Because I guess to him, it kind of was nothing. He even took his beating from Superman pretty well. Again, until he didn't. So I guess the question now is, what can we do with all of this? Well, like I mentioned over in the DC villain power ranking, the first problem that we gotta address is the fact that both Doomsday and Steppenwolf have fought against the Trinity before. Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And they did real differently in those fights. So when Superman went up against Doomsday, he was consistently getting trounced on and overpowered, both with his punches and his heat vision. Doomsday even killed Superman. Then when he goes up against Steppenwolf, and Steppenwolf was absolutely nothing to Cal. Seriously, it was just embarrassing. Superman was absolutely all over him in that fight. And so if you're looking at that, well, obviously it's looking like Doomsday is more powerful. More powerful by a lot. A whole lot. But then there's Wonder Woman. And she kind of looked like she was just having the time of her life out there fighting Doomsday. Smirking after getting hit, just throwing herself into the fight, having a good old time. And then she goes up against Steppenwolf, has to take the fight a whole lot more seriously. Even saying that Steps was the most powerful being she'd ever encountered. Except for Superman.
Even if we knew, I've never seen a being as strong as Steppenwolf.
Batman, he was just kind of shooting guns the whole time, so nothing real different there. But I guess that's the real question here. Which is the more accurate showing? Superman or Wonder Woman? Who's the better scale here? Well, I think it's Diana. Now, hear me out, because I might be fighting uphill here. But just hear me out before you go ahead and turn the video off or go right down to the comments. Just hear me out. Okay, so the first thing is kinda obvious. Wonder Woman fought both of them, and she considered Steppenwolf to be the stronger one out of the two. You can actually see this too. It wasn't just in her words. Diana contested Doomsday's strength two or three different times in their fight. Yet she got overwhelmed fighting against Steppenwolf. He was also going up against Aquaman and Cyborg as backup, too. And it actually took Diana and Arthur's combined strength to overpower Steps. And then you do gotta take a look at Superman, too. Because I don't think there's a doubt that he's more powerful in Justice League than he was in Batman v Superman or Man of Steel. Either the Mother Box did a change and powered him up, or it was all just being exposed to the sun. Zack Snyder actually did mention that the black suit was more than just being symbolic. It's also just practical. He had to get as juiced up as quickly as possible, and black absorbs sunlight better. But regardless of what it was, Superman was more powerful than we've ever seen him before. I mean, you can't tell me that this guy isn't more powerful here than he was here. So I think Wonder Woman's showings against these two villains are just more reliable than Superman's. Plus, you could even argue that Superman was weaker than normal during his fight against Doomsday, seeing as how he had to deal with the after effects of that nuke. Maybe was even still dealing with the after effects on that kryptonite. Who knows how long that stuff affects him? And then finally, well, we gotta take everything that Zack Snyder says and take all that into account. Because according to Snyder, who it's worth noting is usually always pretty accurate about his power scaling, both Steppenwolf and Darkseid are on the same wavelength as Doomsday when it comes to power and strength. We also know that Steppenwolf and Doomsday have fought in the past when Steps was younger, and Steppenwolf fought against the real Doomsday. Because according to Snyder, that thing Batman and Superman fought against wasn't the real Doomsday. So what's all of this to say? Well, I think Zack Snyder intended Steppenwolf to be more powerful than Doomsday, to be the kind of threat that required the Justice League to form, and required for Superman to be resurrected. And I think he'd win this fight. He's on the same strength and durability level as Doomsday. Is it better fighter, so be able to do to Doomsday what Wonder Woman did? And I 100% believe that electric axe of his can cut through the monster. I mean, if Wonder Woman's sword could do it, why couldn't Steppenwolf's axe? And while Doomsday might evolve or adapt to a point where Steppenwolf can no longer put him down, with Step's axe and his fighting skill, everything he's got going for him, I actually think he might be able to put Doomsday down before that happens. So yeah, I think Steppenwolf is actually the one coming out on top here, which I would have never believed until Snyder Cut came out. I'm actually kind of shocked I even believe it now. But with everything I've laid out, yeah, I think Steppenwolf is coming out on top. Steppenwolf wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts, and I know for sure y'all are going to have a lot of them. So sign up down below. Also be sure that like button, the subscribe button, turn notifications, join the Fanco army, and I will see y'all next time.